Good afternoon, comrades across our beautiful socialist Republic of Canada. We must pay homage to our great leader and never forget that there are some thoughts that we shouldn't be having. There's some discussions we shouldn't be having. There's a lot of things that we shouldn't know because, well, we're Canadians and we don't handle the truth very well. And the truth is Canada is not a democracy. It isn't. I mean, under all different definitions, we are not a democracy. And that is being recognized by many people around the world. But here in Canada, we are delusional by the mass. The propaganda machine has worked wonders, coming even from the state-sponsored, paid-for CBC News affiliation. They're all just puppets for the regime. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, across our beautiful country of Canada. Our friends south of the border, across the pond, around the world, every which way. Welcome back to your favorite Angry Canadian on the 6th day of the 6th month, 2023. So the first thing I want to talk about right now is, did you know that there was a Bilderberg conference held just a short while ago? And these conferences have been ongoing for decades. And they're totally secret. They sign a non-disclosure agreement. So you don't know what they're discussing, who they're discussing, why, anything like that. And it's a private organization. Bilderberg doesn't belong to any government or state, or at least that's what they say. But I find it really interesting that Canada's Deputy Prime Minister, our Minister of Finance, Chrystia Freeland, was an attendee at the 2023 Bilderberg Summit. Now, of course, most Canadians by now should know that Chrystia Freeland is also on the board of the WEF, World Economic Forum, headed by Klaus Schwab, who Justin Trudeau is a student of, or well, whatever. We all know it. We're screwed. It is not a democracy. And I do wonder, how the hell did Chrystia Freeland go to this Bilderberg in Portugal? I think it was Lisbon, Portugal, that it was held. How did she go there? Because the thing is quite, it's private. It's private. So did the taxpayers pay for Chrystia Freeland, along with whoever she took with herself, to fly over to Lisbon, Portugal? And I know it wouldn't be commercial plane. I mean, give me a break. And attend this meeting. I mean, it is, nobody's asking the question, why was she there as our Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister? And should a Canadian government official be attending private, secret meetings? I mean, geez, you got to be a real dingbat to think that, well, that's okay. I mean, just hang the taxpayers of Canada upside down and keep banging on them till more and more money falls out of their pockets until they're broke. But it's all just crap.
The G7 is meeting this week in Japan, and Justin Trudeau really stepped in it like he always seems to do. Here's Trudeau basically mansplaining human rights and democracy to the Nationalist Populist Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni.
Obviously, Canada is concerned about some of the positionings that Italy is taking in terms of the LGBT rights, but I look forward to talking with you about that because we're here at the G7 as an assembly of countries that are promoting the kinds of strong values and democratic principles that the world needs, and I always look forward to those conversations with you.
Yes, you see, Prime Minister Maloney, being that you're a backwards conservative Catholic woman, Mussolini, all that stuff, let me explain to you what we do here at G7. You see, we're an assembly of countries that come together and promote the strong values, the far left radical woke values that the world hates but needs. So like you, Miss Maloney, they're too stupid to understand why they need these values to rule them. But that's what we're here for. We're here to gather together to discuss how we can more effectively shove woke values down the throats of people who don't want them. And that's what we here at the G7 call democracy. I mean, you could just see Georgia Maloney's face, her demeanor. She clearly had no patience for this pathetic buffoon, this poor privileged excuse for a prime minister to arrogate himself to a position of moral superiority over her. And the Italian press went nuts over this. Check this out. The Italian paper Libero printed a full-color picture of Trudeau in blackface. Remember Trudeau during the last campaign? He was running around trying to paint the Conservatives as a bunch of racists. When it was revealed that he had a certain penchant in his younger years for dressing up in blackface costumes, which of course is considered the epitome of racial insensitivity. So the paper splashed that picture on their front page and they called him a buffoon. And they asked rhetorically, who the hell does this guy think he is lecturing us? Even the Australian press was utterly bewildered by this absurdity.
Let's just zoom in on the Italian PM's face as Trudeau decided to mansplain democracy to her. Yeah, not happy. And this final look really sums up what all of us think of the repugnant, incompetent Trudeau.
Repugnant and incompetent. That is how Trudeau is being viewed down under. And those appear to be exactly the sentiments that Georgia Maloney later expressed in a press conference. She said in Italian that Justin Trudeau was the victim of what she called fake news, that he frankly didn't understand Italian politics or legislation, and that Italy needs no lectures about LGBT rights from his woke ass. Well, she didn't say that last part, but I think it was a faithful implication.
And it doesn't matter if it's domestic. There's a lot of shit going on in Canada right now politically or on the world stage. Justin Trudeau, his Liberal Party, neoliberal globalists have made Canada into a sick puppy. We are the laughing stock of much of the world. That look by Italy's Prime Minister when Justin Trudeau was explaining to her about gay rights and trans and whatever else, we have a lot of freedom in Canada for those people. We just don't have freedom for our Canadians that want to express their opinions, that want to have control over their bodies. Like Trudeau didn't appreciate people not getting. We are being destroyed from the inside. And the majority of Canadians don't give a rat's ass. In the last 2.5 years, since 2020, we have faced all kinds of restrictions on our freedoms, whether it's to travel, have control over your body. Trudeau is all for abortion because you got to control, who are we to tell a person what to do with their body? Except when it comes to vaccination, wearing masks, or having lockdowns. And we know all those things were necessary and worked.
I want my stuff! If it's gonna go somewhere, give me my stuff! Give me my stuff right now! Give it to me!
Excuse me, I want off this plane.
I want the manager of the airport here!
That's not gonna happen.
I'm joking! Who saw him choke me to the ground? Who saw me?
I saw you run through the door when you weren't supposed to, and then I saw him
me
push
to
you
the
out
ground.
the door.
You deserve
I'm pretty sure you're
in a
mistaken.
dress!
Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo.
Boo-hoo! You off!
Schultz was at a gathering of his party near Berlin when a group of protesters disrupted his speech, shouting slogans like "Make peace without weapons" and calling Scholz a warmonger.
Kriegstreiber! Kriegstreiber ist Putin! Ist mit 200.000 Soldaten in die Ukraine eingemarschiert. Hat noch viele mehr mobilisiert. Hat das Leben seiner eigenen Bürger riskiert für einen imperialistischen Traum. Putin will die Ukraine zerstören und erobern und hat noch andere im Blick. Das werden wir als Freiheitsfreunde, als Demokraten, als Europäer nicht zulassen. Während ihr ruft, Frieden schaffen ohne Waffen, hat Putin unglaublich viele Panzer zusammengezogen, Raketen, Marschflugkörper und hat sie auf die Ukraine gerichtet. Er zerstört Städte, er zerstört Dörfer, er zerstört Eisenbahnlinien und Autobahnen und er hat unglaublich viele Bürgerinnen und Bürger, Kinder und Alte in der Ukraine getötet. Das ist Mord, um es klar zu sagen, und nicht das, was hier gerufen wird. Und auch das gehört zur Wahrheit dazu. In seinem imperialistischen Traum von Großmacht riskiert er das Leben seiner eigenen Bürgerinnen und Bürger. Wir wissen nicht, wie viele junge russische Soldaten für seinen Traum schon gestorben sind. Aber es können 100 bis 150.000 sein. Wie kann man so mit dem Leben der eigenen jungen Leute umgehen? Nur weil man ein großer Mann sein will. Das ist unverantwortlich. Das ist Kriegstreiberei. Das ist Gewalt mit Waffen.
Wow, what an impassioned speech, man. You know, coming out of Germany's Chancellor. Yeah, I don't know. I just absolutely awestruck by it. It kind of reminds me of something. Does it remind you of anything? I mean, I can't really put my finger on it.
Sein Sowjetzeichen soll vor sich hertragen und wir werden in unserem Zeichen wieder siegen.
So we don't talk about it. As a matter of fact, this video could get in trouble because of the man. But you know what happens when we ignore history? We don't talk about it. We're going to repeat it, and it is happening. There are a lot of Holocaust survivors that have been interviewed, and some really amazing interviews. And they're saying that the way it got going in Germany in the 30s is what they're seeing now. You know, a little lockdown here, little regulation there, little whatever. Just enough to, you know, keep the pressure on and make people realize that there is a master there. And it's not them, it's not God, not even their country. You know, who's behind this crap that's happening now? That's something that I think we have a right to know.